So I brought some poems. I have a new poem that I thought was kind of good for the most recent season. We just are still at the very end of the firefly season. How many people like fireflies? I always identify with fireflies. You know, I try to shine my light, you know, in the world. And after about 5 minutes, I'm going. Like the fireflies, I see them there trying to light up the world. It's impossible. Anyway, so this is one I just wrote, and I just thought I'd read it because it kind of has the whimsy, little touch of whimsy inspired by Amy's work, you know. And really, I mean, Amy is really, if you don't mind me talking about you here, it's not only a fine musician, but she's really a literary figure because of her lyrics are so poetic. So, you know, just would like to read this very new poem. And it's called Chief of All the Fireflies. I'm a red-blooded man, or are you going to do a little ukulele for me? She promised to do ukulele. Right. I used to think that was a country over off the coast of Europe, UK, right? Okay, well, here it goes. I'm a red-blooded man, a kind of split feather. My skin's not thin, but it's not tanned leather. I kind of like to walk to a different drum, and it's a rare breed who knows where I'm coming from. First girl I met was the girl of my dreams, but she was already married when I entered the scene. Her man was not the kind with which I reckoned to mix. If I was 007, he was 006. And I learned humility, and I learned it well. He could speak words of truth like a poet from hell. And when we bumped heads, it was like a stone wall. So I learned to think small before I learned how to crawl. People ask me, where's my tribe? We're like a flock of birds that can never divide. People say that I live just like a grand chief, but none of the power and all of the grief. And I say, if I'm a chief, why is life so hard? Oh, I gotta be proud and free, guided by the light of the prophecies, and I guess that makes me, as you can see, chief of all the fireflies in my yard. My mama was a renegade. She knew how to barter, she knew how to trade. She was a warrior woman, but so soft-spoken, and the treaties we made were never broken. Through the forest green, she'd run, she'd scamper. She made Sacagawea look like a camper. With a babe in each arm, she'd go into battle. I say, with a babe in each arm, she'd go into battle with the petty officials, as I played on the rattle. She fought for civil rights and fought what was wrong, and then turned around and sang us a lullaby song. She had a big heart, and she had a softer side, but if I ever went rogue, she would tan my hide. People ask me, where's my tribe? We're a flock of birds they can never divide. People say I live like a grand chief, but none of the power and all of the grief. And I say, if I'm a chief, why is life so hard? I gotta be proud and free, guided by the light of the prophecies, and I guess that makes me, as you can see, the chief of all the fireflies in my yard. Well, my parents have perished, and now it's me. I'm about as scary as a bug on a tree. And now I'm getting on in my years, and me and my people left a trail of tears. But we never surrendered. In fact, we've won. We made a bridge to the future that has only begun. And if I ever grow up, I hope to grow up to be a man whose heart is trouble-free. And if that doesn't happen, I'll still be who I am, still learning to forgive my fellow man. And so if you want to see the world through different eyes, join my tribe and be a firefly. doing our poetry moment, and there's, our theme is clouds. What's the name of this concert? Music in the Clouds. Music in the Clouds, thank you. Music in the Clouds. So we have a cloud theme. And there's a little poem about clouds from the book Red Headband, which I wrote. Seeing past clouds. Help me to see what I'm here to do. Give me a sign of hope, wider than the evening sky. And that's a special kind of haiku with you add a syllable. If I read that. And the moon of poetry, rising there above the rhythmic sea. You can kind of, you didn't have anything in C major? It's about the sea. Rising there above the rhythmic sea, the waxing moon of poetry takes flight above the rolling inky waves. Its light flows forth like shining gold, scattered everywhere and never to be found. And yet a rivulet of light flows gently on the crests of waves and rushes towards the sandy shore, reaching out to wash the feet of those who stand and wait for inspiration, listening so patiently. The moon of poetry. So maybe I'll do one more. This is a short one. The elder fired up the smudge bowl and the world disappeared into a cloud of purple love. I lost myself in that sage and followed a trail of scent that took me to a place I have been looking for my whole life. So there's a few poems from there.